put you on in the evening now.
They're originals, yeah.
No.
They're lovely, they sell well as well.
Especially made it for the show, but unfortunately it didn't work.
Could you possibly put them on the card?
They've just bought.
I came up with the
She was my guru when I first arrived in Sedbergh. Because she was Mrs. Tick, weren't you?
I need to. I'm afraid, Henry, I'm not doing my job. You can give me a big smile, pair of big smiles, 2 original smiles.
Isn't that nice?
Oh yes, here's some more.
My car is late. And then you've never seen that. I'm wondering if I would see them walking.
Those are electric bike preaching.
Absolutely. I was on radio. No, I don't think I did do it.
And then you deserted us.
Oh, I haven't.
Morning all.
Morning.
Oh yeah, alright, how are you? I'll limbo in.
No, sorry, I'm going to push everybody out.
Right, sounds good to me.
Before you limbo in, I'll make them limbo
That
out.
is fine. Well, I think I'm here. Oh right, fine. I have a particular job to do when I get back, but it can be delayed by half an hour or so. That's fine.
The idea of setting up a space for people to make and sell crafts in the middle of Sedbergh. An article in the Look Around resulted in a few inquiries and messages of support. We held a few meetings to discuss the idea, and by July a few of us had set up in Sedbergh Cafe down the road. But that didn't really work out, so we changed our format and we started setting up every Wednesday in the marketplace on Sedbergh Market. We were aware that we weren't in the right place, and certainly not in a place where we could actually do any crafts. And we were also beginning to be defeated by the increasingly bad weather in October. So at the end of October, we moved into Henry Wilson's shop here at 61 Main Street, a former bookshop. We agreed to run a 2-month pilot to see how well we might do. We had a good run up to Christmas, and although we were a new business, we're not actually a business, we're a cooperative, we managed to pretty much break even coming up to Christmas, covering the rent, electricity, insurance, and buying all the bits and pieces like paper bags that one needs, even a waste paper bin. We've now decided as a cooperative, and we work as a cooperative, so I'm simply the chair. We've now decided to plough on, and our official opening marks that event. We have decided we're going to continue as long as we're able. We're filling a shop in Sedbergh, providing a venue for making and buying and selling crafts. We always agreed that we'd be a cooperative. We're not aiming to make a big profit, and we're operating on a commission basis. If individual crafters can make a profit or use us as a start-up for something bigger, that's fine. But our prime aim is to create a pleasant place to make and sell things, a social centre where we can talk about crafts, share ideas, welcome visitors. We do need to sell some of our crafts in order to pay the bills, but that's not the main purpose. There are about 30 members of the cooperative. Each person who has crafts in the shop is a member of the cooperative, can attend meetings and be part of the decision-making process. The shop is staffed by volunteers, many of whom do crafts. Those who don't are part of the cooperative because they help us. No one gets paid. Most of us are simply happy to cover the cost of indulging in our hobby. There's something really special in finding that someone likes something that you've made enough to pay money for it. We try to ensure that everything we offer for sale is of good quality, and you can see that we've some talented people in the cooperative who are able to make unique and special things that make perfect gifts for someone else or even for yourself. We all enjoy being here. We think we're the ultimate in social responsibility, a not-for-profit enterprise that brings pleasure to many and is enjoyed by all. Those who enjoy looking through our windows find that they're interesting and change. People make crafts and have got a place to sell them. Those who volunteer in the shop enjoy meeting people. Those who buy our wares leave knowing that they've a fine, unique handmade item that was made locally and with care. Before I ask Tim Farron to officially open us, I'd like to just give a few thanks to people. First of all, the first members of the cooperative, those who had the faith to start this off. Linda Hopkins, Diana Whitfield, Lynn McLennan, Kate Van Alphen, Stuart Gray, Janet Hope and Vicky Amos. All our cooperative workers need a big thank you because they fill the shop with lovely things. And a big thank you to those who volunteer in the shop without actually actively doing any crafts. We will work on you. I'd like to also thank Keith Wilberforce, who set up the systems for handling the cash, because we have to have them, and also has put up with a mad wife who thinks, talks, eats and sleeps the craft workshop. I'd also like to thank Henry Wilson, who's allowed us to rent his shop. And I have to thank the customers who, by their support, have enabled us to feel confident to go forward. And finally, I'd like to thank Tim Farron, who has agreed to officially open the shop for us today, here with a pair of scissors.
Right. Thank you very much. I have to say a few words because it's against the law for me not to, but only a very few. Ellen, I'm hugely impressed by what's going on here. We bumped into each other in the cafe just there, I think it was, just there, about 3 or 4 months ago, when you told me about it. And I think it speaks volumes about Sedbergh. It's very Sedbergh. It's all about, creativity. How could you, even somebody as talented as me can't help but be slightly creative in an atmosphere in a community like this. It's all about cooperation and self-reliance and relying on one another, everybody pulling their weight and working together. But it also represents, I think, a great opportunity for the community to demonstrate. In times that are not easy, you will come up with ways of being able to demonstrate the great things you can create here, and also to be able to be a shop window for those who come by. It's a beautiful street, and it's a wonderful town. We are, the gateway and part of the Yorkshire Dales here, and it's important we take advantage of that and make sure we put our wares on display. Thank you very much, Henry, for your part in all this. It's great to see you back here. And great to see this space being used again. When all said and done, I've always thought that this as a community is something quite special, and that the things that happen in Sedbergh don't happen necessarily everywhere else, and they happen here because of the human beings at the top. I don't know why, probably not the best place to quote him, but I remember doing A-level history. I remember particularly the Russian Revolution, and Lenin said once that, just the right place to quote Lenin, I think. Lenin once said that individuals never change history, only movements change history. I remember thinking at that point then, and here today, that's complete and utter rot. It's not movements, it's individuals. There are plenty of towns about the same size and shape as Sedbergh. They don't have half of what Sedbergh's got. And the reason is they haven't got Sedbergh's people. And so, Helen, fantastic work that you're doing, but all of you as a team, thank you very much. You deserve to succeed, and I'm sure you will. Are you ready? Folks with cameras, tell me when. Right? Okay. 3, 2, 1. God bless all this, Eleanor. Here we go.
Nothing that's look better. Let's go and get that. That's not what I asked for.
Well, it's just you're going to put a piece of ribbon on.
Are you ready to?
I won!
I moved out last week.